The 1970s were a time of creativity and timeless music.
Three brothers, the most successful singer-songwriters of our time.
Some songs were great hits, but they have sadly been forgotten. Welcome to Days Gone By, where we reminisce about the great 1970s songs you may have overlooked.
Let's get it on.
Let's Get It On was Marvin Gaye's 13th studio album, released in August 1973. By then, Marvin was already a huge Motown legend, but this song took his career to a new level.
Let's get it on.
His smooth vocals and the song's soulful lyrics were a massive hit with his fans. Let's Get It On blended smooth soul and doo-wop styles with provocative lyrics. Gaye incorporated themes of spiritual healing in his songs about and romance, a coping mechanism for the childhood abuse he suffered from his father, Marvin Gaye Sr. After the success of his socially conscious album, What's Going On, 1971, Marvin Gaye solidified his status as a icon with Let's Get It On. The album featured 3 hit singles, Let's Get It On, Come Get To This, and You Sure Love to Ball. It became Gaye's most commercially successful record at Motown, resulting in increased creative control for Gaye. Maggie May is a song co-written by Rod Stewart and Martin Quintenton. It was featured on Stewart's 1971 album, Every Picture Tells a Story. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked it number 130 in the 500 greatest songs of all time, and the Grammy Hall of Fame inducted it in 2017. The song was released in October 1971. Stewart's music was already getting some recognition in the UK, but this song thrust him into the limelight. Maggie May was initially on the B-side and was not the main track, but fans loved it and it stood out. It became Stewart's first hit as a solo performer and launched his career. Maggie May reflects the mixed emotions of a young man in a relationship with an older woman, inspired by Rod Stewart's first experience with a woman. In a January 2007 interview with Q Magazine, he revealed the song was based on his first encounter at the 1961 Bellevue Jazz Festival.
I don't even know if her name was Maggie, but she was a woman that was older than me. That makes a change, and was my first ever partner.
While the woman's name wasn't Maggie May, Stewart randomly chose the name from an old Liverpudlian song about a In 1969, the Bee Gees had a feud that led singer Robin Gibb to leave the band. After releasing an album separately, Barry and Maurice Gibb also decided to part ways, signaling the end of the Bee Gees. Almost a year later, Robin sought to reconcile, leading to them creating How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? This song helped the Bee Gees reunite, and they continued performing until Maurice passed away in 2003. Even though it isn't among their most famous hits, it still changed the trajectory of their 45-year-old history. Following the release of How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, the song got a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Group or Duo.
And misty memories.
From 1997 to 1999, it was part of a medley during the One Night Only tour, and was last performed by the Bee Gees in 2001. Some may have forgotten the song, but it was and still is a classic. You Make Me Feel Brand New was a 1974 single by the Philadelphia soul group, The Stylistics. Written by Tom Bell and Linda Creed, it was an R&B ballad and the 5th track from their album, Let's Put It All Together. It reached number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 for 2 weeks, proving its popularity. The song peaked at number 5 on the Billboard R&B chart, and number 2 on the UK singles chart in August 1974. It sold over 1 million copies in the US, earning the band a gold disc presented by the RIAA on May 22, 1974. Arian Love, co-founder of Stylistics, opened the song with his deep baritone, alternating with lead vocalist Russell Tompkins Jr.'s falsetto. The 5-minute version first appeared on their 1973 album Rock and Roll Baby, but was not released as a single. Jazz and pop artists have recorded the song, including Simply Red, Babyface, and Boyz II Men. Wonderful Tonight is a beautiful slow ballad written by Eric Clapton and featured on his 1977 album, Slow Hand. Clapton composed the song using his 1974 Martin D28 guitar and sang it for his muse, Pattie Boyd. On September 7, 1976, while waiting for Boyd to prepare for Paul and Linda McCartney's annual Buddy Holly party, Clapton was inspired to write the song. The female vocal harmonies in the track perfectly complemented the song, while Clapton sang with so much emotion. This was Clapton's mellowest love ballad in a long time. His guitar work in the song is simple yet provocative, with a gentle beat and beautiful organ accompaniment. Wonderful Tonight peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 on July 15, 1978, spending 7 weeks in the top 40. Bohemian Rhapsody is a masterpiece by the British rock band Queen. It was released in 1975 as the lead single from their album A Night at the Opera. The 6-minute suite, written by Freddie Mercury, has no repeating chorus. It seamlessly blended opera rock and ballad elements to create one of the greatest songs ever. Mercury called it a mock opera and combined 3 songs he had written. Freddie Mercury began developing Bohemian Rhapsody in the late 1960s, playing parts on the piano. One early piece known as the Cowboy Song included the lyrics, "Mama just killed a man," which were later incorporated into the 1975 version. Just killed a man. Record executives doubted it would succeed due to its 6-minute runtime, but they were wrong. Bohemian Rhapsody topped the United Kingdom singles chart for 9 weeks, and again for 5 weeks after Mercury's death in 1991, making it the UK's 3rd best-selling single. It also topped charts in several countries and sold over 6 million copies worldwide. Mercury's performance in the song was extraordinary. It showcased his 4-octave vocal range and became a massive hit. Sadly, too few people remember this masterpiece, which was so skillfully written and performed. The song won 5 awards in 1971 and the 13th Annual Grammy Awards. Among them was the Grammy Award for Song and Record of the Year. It is Simon & Garfunkel's most successful single and is often regarded as their signature track, especially with Garfunkel's magnificent vocals. Bridge Over Troubled Water was a beautiful, almost religious ballad with a flawless performance and arrangement.
I didn't know where to, well, everywhere I went led me where I didn't want to be, so I was stuck.
The song held the number 1 spot on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart for 6 weeks, and also topped the charts in the United Kingdom, Canada, France, and New Zealand. The song became one of the most performed pieces of the 20th century, and over 50 artists, including Elvis Presley, Aretha Franklin, and Johnny Cash, have recorded it. The song will forever be a classic, as they say, old is gold.
Cracking these dirty sidewalks.
In 1975, Larry Weiss wrote Rhinestone Cowboy and released it, but it didn't take off. Later that year, Glenn Campbell performed the song, which became a massive hit, appealing to both country and pop audiences. Released in May 1975 as the lead single from his album Rhinestone Cowboy, Campbell's rendition enjoyed phenomenal success. Music writers have noted that Campbell strongly connected with the song's themes, focusing on survival and perseverance during tough times. The song tells the story of a veteran artist who believes he will shine like a rhinestone cowboy one day. The song quickly rose to number 1 on both the Billboard Hot Country Singles and the Hot 100 charts. It spent 3 weeks at the top of the country chart and was named Billboard's number 2 song of 1975. It also topped charts in Canada and other countries. In August 2017, the song gained a resurgence when Campbell passed away. It's one of those catchy songs that should never have been forgotten. In 1974, ABBA's song Waterloo won the 14th Melodifestivalen, an annual song competition in Sweden. The group went on to represent Sweden in the Eurovision Song Contest in Brighton. The song won and catapulted ABBA to global fame. It topped charts in multiple countries and even reached the top 10 in the United States. The group's catchy pop hooks and perfect harmonies made them an overnight sensation. In 2005, during Eurovision's 50th anniversary competition, Waterloo was recognized as the best song in the contest's history. Neil Diamond has several hits that remain popular today, but Cracklin' Rosie isn't one of them. Although it shares a similar vibe with Sweet Caroline, one of his biggest hits, Cracklin' Rosie never achieved the same level of fame. It's a song with a rich history that deserves more recognition. Cracklin' Rosie is not about a or store-bought woman, as the lyrics might suggest. Neil Diamond was inspired by a story he heard while touring Canada about an indigenous reservation where men outnumbered women. The men would rush to buy a cheap wine called Crackling Rose, treating it as their companion for the weekend. The song, therefore, is about the wine, not a person. The most remarkable aspect of the drumming on this track is its simplicity. The drummer maintained a steady 4-on-the-floor groove with a strong backbeat that drove the song forward. While it might not seem like much on the surface, it was exactly what the song needed at the time. When it was released in 1970, Cracklin' Rosie was a massive success. It became Neil Diamond's first #1 hit in the US, marking his breakthrough single in the UK. It also performed well on the charts in various English-speaking countries, including New Zealand and Canada.
I can see clearly now.
Johnny Nash skillfully blended reggae and pop in this 1972 banger. Nash penned this song while taking a stroll on a rainy day in the streets of Jamaica. The song speaks of leaving heartaches behind and of better days ahead. Nash wrote and recorded the song's original version in London with members of the Fabulous 5 Inc. and produced it himself. The arrangements and style are heavily influenced by reggae, reflecting Nash's earlier collaboration with Bob Marley. The song resonated with most people and spent 4 weeks on the Hot Adult Contemporary charts and the Billboard Hot 100.
I'm a lover and I'm a sinner.
After releasing The Joker in 1973, the Steve Miller Band re-released it in 1990. Both times it topped the charts, which makes the fact that it's now relatively forgotten all the more surprising. The second release reached #1 in the UK singles chart for an odd reason. The song had recently featured in a TV commercial for Levi's.
I'm a lover and I'm a sinner.
Fun fact, The Joker shares some lyrics with the blues song Lovey Dovey. Another fun fact is that it's one of the band's 2 songs containing a nonce word, pompatus, which Steve Miller coined himself and admitted has no meaning. The album featured a blend of musical styles including pop rock, rock and roll, folk rock, and R&B. Its lyrics focused on character-driven narratives about individuals who felt trapped and dreamed of escaping to a better life. The track brought these themes to life through romantic imagery of highways and travel. Born to Run marked Bruce Springsteen's musical breakthrough. The song aptly captured the dreams of American youth during a turbulent decade of political and social challenges. It's widely regarded as a masterpiece and one of his best albums, featured on many lists of the greatest albums of all time. In 2003, the track was inducted into the National Recording Registry for its cultural significance. Without You is a power ballad by Pete Ham and Tom Evans of Badfinger, first released on their 1970 album No Dice. The song has been covered by 180 artists plus, with Harry Nilsson's 1971 version and Mariah Carey's 1994 rendition reaching #1 internationally. Harry Nilsson, known for his hits like Everybody's Talkin' and One, first heard Badfinger's Without You at a party and initially thought it was a Beatles song. After realizing it wasn't, he decided to cover it for his 1971 album, Nilsson Schmilsson. He initially wanted a simple solo piano version. However, producer Richard Perry persuaded him to turn it into a grand theatrical ballad with an orchestra. The iconic song You're the One I Want was performed by Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta for the 1978 film Grease. This movie holds a special place in the hearts of many. It was one of the best-selling singles in history, selling more than 4 million copies in the United States and UK alone, with global estimates exceeding 15 million. The song was on top for 9 weeks in the summer of 1978, on the UK singles chart for months before the film's release, and remains the 5th best-selling single of all time in the UK, with 2 million copies sold. The First Time I Saw Your Face was written by Ewan MacColl in 1957 for Peggy Seeger, who later became his third wife. Seeger performed the song at folk clubs across Britain during the 1960s. It was recorded by various artists and became a huge international hit for Roberta Flack in 1972. Released in March 1972, this timeless song became a hit after being featured in a film starring Clint Eastwood, Play Misty for Me. It won Grammy Awards for Record of the Year and Song of the Year, and Billboard ranked it as the #1 Hot 100 single of 1972.
Yeah, baby, she's got it.
You may be more familiar with the song Venus through the Bananarama cover, or one of the many other renditions. However, the original version from the 1970s by the Dutch band Shocking Blue was a significant hit. The original Venus country rock style is different from later versions. Another notable aspect of the song is that the lyrics provided to singer Mariska Verez contained a typo. The word goddess was mistakenly written as godness. As a non-native English speaker, she didn't notice the typo, and that's how she sang it.
Yeah, baby, she's got it.
The 70s enjoyed tremendous and timeless music. However, some of the songs were forgotten. Not because they were not great, but because others came up and overshadowed them. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and comment. Press the notification bell to be notified each time we post a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.